Make sure to use my creator code RMPG, send me a tweet of you using it to be in a future video. And also shout out to my channel members. Anyway, enjoy. When I say the word Fortnite, what do you think about? One of the biggest games of all time, known for its super fun and engaging battle royale gameplay while reinventing DLC content via the battle pass, and adding console to PC cross-platforming for one of the first times ever? But what if I told you this vision wasn't in sight for the developers at all? In fact, they were looking towards a basic zombie survival title. But while I'm sure a lot of you guys already knew about this concept called Fortnite Save The World, what most of you guys probably don't know is that with the rising popularity of Fortnite's secondary mode, Fortnite Battle Royale, the main mode has seen less and less support over those years, and the community has slowly faded into nothing more than a bunch of outliers holding on to a somewhat dead title. But with Save the World being the main mode, the main passion for the Fortnite developers, let's look throughout the years and answer the question: what happened to Fortnite Save the World? Well, before we talk about the here and now, let's go all the way back to Fortnite's original development. Before Battle Royale, before the popularity, and before even a playable title. All the way back to 2011 to be exact, at the Spike Video Game Awards, when the game was first announced and teased. Now, the reason I say before a playable title is because for years, Epic Games had struggled with producing this game initially. Especially considering that after so long into development, the original engine for the game, Unreal Engine 3, started to grow irrelevant and obsolete, and Fortnite was going to have to move to the newer and higher potential Unreal Engine 4. But fast forward to 2012, during a Comic-Con event, Fortnite had announced its official release year, that being 2013 as a PC exclusive title. Now, with this being a brand new transition into a new engine, Fortnite quickly had some issues with finishing the title, as the title was oftentimes set aside and used for testing the engine rather than being a full game, and there were many creative roadblocks with the building system and survival mechanics, moving all the way forward to 2014, over a year later than the first planned release date, and the developers had created the very first alphas for this title, with plans to work on the game under the hood for the next 3 years. So well, naturally, 3 years later, we finally had an update for the game, a super positive one. In June of 2017, Fortnite had finally been given a brand new release date of 2018, set to come to not only PC, but also macOS, Xbox, and PlayStation 4. But first, the game was going to be released for early access as soon as July of the same year for $20 with plans of coming free to play later. This was the long-awaited title coming to release for the developers, and things were looking good for it originally, reaching over 1 million players just a month into its early access release before Battle Royale was a real thing yet. The game also had relatively good reception by the community. It was super in-depth with lots of characters and guns to choose from. The new building mechanic even in Save the World was revolutionary, allowing the player to build massive fortresses to fight off waves of zombies as a basic but far from primitive tower defense title. Now clearly this game has been unreliable with releases, but most of these roadblocks were relatively justified, as the game mechanics that led to Fortnite's initial success were definitely worth the longer wait. But with all this being said, when did things start going downhill? Well, in September of that same year, still in early access to the game, the dev team had made a breakthrough decision on their part that would go on to make a good title become among the best. Fortnite had 2 modes leading up to this point, the main Save the World mode and a new Battle Royale mode as a bonus for anybody who bought the title. As after PUBG's super successful release earlier in the year, Fortnite took their own spin on the Battle Royale genre in hopes to interest a rising audience into their game. But there was one major issue with this. The game cost $20, just a few dollars cheaper than PUBG's $30. And this was an issue because if a player was looking for a good Battle Royale title, rather than paying $20 for a bonus mode in Fortnite, they could just spend a little more money to get a title entirely focused on that mode. However, Fortnite had decided after a little while to actually make the Battle Royale version of the game entirely free with the goal of getting people in the future to pay for the full title. And this is when the game absolutely took off. The Battle Royale was unique in style and mechanics, while also being free to play for anyone not willing to pay $30 for PUBG. All of this success had hit Fortnite like a storm, multiplying their entire game's initial player count within a week. And with any game developer, when a game blows up, they had to plan what they wanted to do with the game, and fast. So Fortnite's decision was relatively simple. The Save the World team would keep working on finishing the main title for 2018, while a different and new section of the team would be created to continue work on the Battle Royale. Royale. Now this game, mostly thanks to microtransactions from the Battle Royale title, quickly became a multi-billion-dollar game, but focusing now back into the Save the World mode, this is when things became sort of a problem. There was little motivation to continue working on Save the World because the game statistically had been entirely overshadowed. There was a declining reason for the game to exist anymore because for the most part the Battle Royale brought in all of the money. So while the game development continued to go on, the full release of the game had sort of faded away entirely. I remember being scared to purchase Save the World in April of 2018 out of fear that the game would fully release and become free within the coming months as promised, but as we see today, that day actually never came. But how come? Well, fans feared the worst for the developers, because as more and more effort went towards Fortnite, other titles that were being worked on by Epic Games before had been entirely dropped and discontinued to put more effort into the Battle Royale, and some thought that Save the World was next. Well, luckily at that time, Save the World was at least still worth Epic's time, because while they had to delay the title once again to 2019, Fortnite had posted new development maps and plans to keep expanding the title, as even though it made nowhere near the amount of money as the Battle Royale, it was still a pretty successful title on its own. Or so we thought, because once again 2019 came and we saw nothing from the developers, just darkness. The game was dead. No more story development, and no update on when it would finally finish. So with that all being said, what actually happened to Fortnite Save the World? Well, update-wise, the game is almost entirely dead. Midway through 2020, Epic Games officially called it quits on Save the World and announced that the game was suddenly done without the actual story being completed. And instead, they had plans to reinvent the game into a not well-perceived season-based system similar to what's been working with the more successful Battle Royale version. Something that also struck fans the wrong way was the fact that the free-to-play envisions for the game were entirely gone. One of the biggest issues with Save the World was the fact that time and time again it has been ignored and pushed off ever since the explosion of Battle Royale. The dates got pushed back, they cut off features, and most importantly, they entirely removed the free-to-play goal in favor of using Save the World as an incentive for Battle Royale players to purchase the Fortnite Crew Pack. A subscription service for Fortnite providing skins, V-Bucks, battle passes, and access to Fortnite Save the World. Or in other words, Save the World had the tables flipped entirely on themselves and became the bonus version of Fortnite. As for the game's future, well, to be honest, there's not many positive things to say. The game will probably never be developed anymore, and very quickly imaginably, it will slowly become more and more of a relic that nobody plays more than one. But on the bright side for Save the World fans, as much as it sucked that the development of the game got cut off, the addition of the crew pack actually does have a silver lining. Because while game expansions are pretty much entirely gone, the game will most likely never lose full support entirely. Because while other lacking titles developed by the same team entirely shut down their servers, with the new crew pack system including Save the World, removing it entirely wouldn't actually make any sense. And to this date, we are still at least receiving patches and balancing changes along with new items that don't actually add to the title's story or development, but at least add some more replayability. Financially for the developers, this was definitely the smartest move, as focusing on the more successful titles undeniably made them more money. But the concerning part about this is that when Fortnite Save the World didn't give them the numbers they were looking for, the title, despite being the entire reason Fortnite even existed, was abruptly cut off. And as Epic Games expands outside of Fortnite, I'm beginning to grow concerned. Epic now has their own engine to run Fortnite as well as tons of other titles, and they have even taken entire ownership of games like Rocket League. All of this new power that Epic has raised eyebrows for the fear of microtransactions and battle passes taking over video games, but what I believe is the most important problem here is Epic's unpredictability when it comes to title management. And while they've done well to build up these games further than they've ever been, as game theory is mentioned in a previous video, Epic is trying to become the next Steam and take over the entire gaming industry, which fearfully could lead to the same issue where games are being chopped away when they don't produce the numbers Epic wants them to. So when these big games like Rocket League get acquired by Epic, naturally we're seeing the player bases fall, evident in the fact that they're hiding the population count at this point. And this is something that concerns me because in the future, similar to Save the World, these games might start losing support. But that's personally just my opinion and biggest fear. What do you guys think actually happened to Fortnite Save the World? Do you still play it? Do you think Epic Games is risking the future of gaming? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, subscribe. See ya.